Life lessons from a twisted tree. A spiral-shaped tree teaches profound lessons. Your twists from struggle aren't flaws, they're proof of resilience. For months now, I've been sitting under this tree almost every day, meditating, watching children play, throwing a ball for the dogs. I've always loved this tree. Its spiral trunk reaching counterclockwise toward the sky, its wild branches stretching in every direction. But I wasn't truly listening to it. Lately, I've been diving deeper into silence, into writing, into stillness, and the tree began to speak. What it taught me changed everything. Look at the trunk. Really look at it. Around this tree, tall, straight pines rise upward, without a single curve. But this one spirals from the ground to the crown, as if someone had deliberately wounded it when it was young. But no one did. The tree did it to itself. It had to. Struggling for life, this tree has been here longer than this neighborhood. Before these houses, before these lawns, there was a dense forest here in the northern part of Long Island. For 25 years or more, this tree fought its way through the canopy of older, taller trees to find light. It bent. It adapted. It reshaped itself, twisting and reaching toward any ray of sun it could find. Then the forest was cleared. Houses were built. Most of the trees were cut down, but not this one. Someone saw it and decided to leave it standing. Maybe its unique beauty, its dramatic spiral, convinced them to save its life. The twist from its struggle became exactly what kept it alive. This tree, this survivor, now stands in full sun, but the twist remains, permanent, written into its form. And as I sat beneath it, barefoot on the grass, for the first time I could see my own story in its twisted trunk. We all carry hardship, moments when life forced us to bend, to adapt, to find another way forward. We don't always grow in straight lines. Sometimes our path spirals. Sometimes it takes decades to finally bask in full sunlight. You can move. We're not so different from trees, but here's a crucial difference. Trees have roots. They can't leave. If the soil is toxic, if the water is polluted, if they're surrounded by shade, they have no choice but to adapt or die where they stand. We can move. If your environment doesn't nourish you, if the people around you drain your energy, if your community doesn't support your growth, if the place you live keeps you in the shadows, you can change it. You can leave. You can find better soil. Trees twist because they have no choice. You twist when you choose to stay in conditions that don't serve you. That's not resilience. That's just suffering. Roots, water, sunlight. We share the same needs as trees. We need roots, a connection to the earth, to our origins, to something stable beneath us. We need water, clean and mineral-rich, flowing through our system. We need sunlight, not just on our skin, but in our lives, warmth, purpose, things that call us to rise. When we're depleted, disconnected from nature, living under artificial light, breathing recycled air, consuming things that don't nourish us, we weaken. We age faster. We break. But when we align with what energizes us, we don't just survive. We thrive. Bursting with life. Look at this tree again. Most trees put out 2, maybe 5 new shoots per branch each season. This one, 30, 40. An explosion of growth in every direction. The struggle didn't weaken it. The years of fighting for light, of twisting, bending, and straining, all of it made it more alive, more resilient, more full of life force. The twist isn't damage. It's proof of effort. And here's what the tree taught me. The twist isn't a problem. The twist is your story. Your struggles didn't break you. They shaped you into something that stands out in a forest of straight pines, something worth saving, something beautiful precisely because of how tenaciously you fought to grow. So root deeply. Seek what warms you. Let yourself be recharged by the things that give life. The earth that offers stability, the sun that offers warmth, the water that nourishes, the breath that fuels your being. And trust that your path, with all its twists and turns, is leading you exactly where you're meant to grow. Life Tapestry Creations, April 17th, 2026. Dearest ones, today is an auspicious day that you might remember. Not because of some 3D marker noting the date, but because of the feeling that a weight has been lifted from you. What was is no more, and you are finally becoming fully aware of this truth. Even if your life doesn't necessarily change dramatically, it will begin to flow more easily. Many of you wonder why the day you read this material will change your world. This happens because you are questioning the universe about the correctness of your 3D world, indicating that you are no longer interested in playing the game of 3D fears and anxieties. This doesn't mean you'll never feel fear or anger again, but rather that you'll spend far less time in either, because you've finally accepted that you no longer belong to the third dimension. The third dimension can no longer influence you. It's over. You may be wondering what we're referring to, because your life hasn't changed all that much. Actually, it has. The entire world underwent a partial transformation at the beginning of this week, in preparation for the great shift on the 17th of this month. What you thought you knew or expected to experience no longer exists, and the three-dimensional fears you allowed to creep into your being will feel antiquated to you. This is your new world, a new beginning, a world you created through months and years of continuous fear and anguish. The cycle is complete. From the 17th onward, you will see your political and social environment very differently, and you will say or feel, "No, I will not," much more often. You are free, as are those who have decided to embark on a path of transition. You are free to be yourself, including the freedom to deny the need to care for your neighbor and the world if those beings refuse to accept this new world order. Likewise, some groups around the world continue to live more or less as people lived in the 19th century or earlier, even though they could have added additional factors, inventions, and interactions to their knowledge and skills. You do not consider those who refuse to live according to the current worldview as terrible people, but rather as human beings living a more difficult life than necessary, given the advances of the last 180 years. This is a time of division, not in terms of good and evil, but rather of difference. Your life is changing emotionally and in your actions, while those who do not desire this transition will remain as they have been for centuries, driven by fear. They are not bad, simply human beings who do not wish to advance into this new world of love. You are now on a different trajectory, as are those who wish to undertake this transition. A trajectory of a world of love, in contrast to the three-dimensional eras of fear. A trajectory that will become more evident day by day, without war and with far less fear and anger. Now you are yourself. Those who do not desire the transition will not change their thoughts or actions much, even knowing that, somehow, your life seems to shine. And so it will be, especially after April 17th, 2026. So be it. Amen. Current life and the spiritual path life is a physical journey through time and space, but it is also a spiritual journey that transcends both time and space. Physically, we are born from the earth, and to the earth we shall return. Yet spiritually, we are never born and never die. We never come and never go. We are so much more than our physical reality. From our soul's perspective, this current life is just one page in an infinite book that is the eternal story of life. We are all characters in a play, and each of us has chosen a different role. In the new energy, ascension is defined as the transition to the next life without death, taking control of your biology, your chronological age, all the potentials you're born with, rewriting your contract, vibrating at a higher frequency, and living a longer, healthier life. For a human being, stepping out of linearity and becoming multidimensional has a profound impact on one's consciousness. Consciousness is the ever-evolving thought and awareness of a multidimensional human being. It is a much higher consciousness, embodied by empathy, compassion, care, kindness, benevolence, and greater wisdom. In this next phase of your life expression, the ascending self will awaken with the memory of how to accomplish exceptional feats. The self will naturally know how to work with multidimensional energy that others cannot yet understand, and you will use it daily. It is the beginning of an ancient revolution of the soul, where all healing attributes will come first, above anything else you may have known. Star souls are ascending human beings who possess an innate inheritance of abilities, gifts, talents, tools, and skills, waiting to be unlocked. By tapping into the Akashic skill set and inner strength to manifest new earthbound energy desires, everything needed on the path is at hand to give new life to dreams and aspirations. The new human being is an evolved state of consciousness that emerges through ascension, a being no longer governed by fear, separation, or old survival patterns, but instead living in coherence, alignment, compassion, and deep inner knowing. This new human being carries an awakened awareness of their divine origin, understanding that they are simultaneously physical and multidimensional, connected to all life through a unified field of consciousness. Intuition becomes natural, love transforms into guiding intelligence, and integrity aligns thought, emotion, and action. Rather than reacting to the world, the new human being consciously creates from within, embodying peace, balance, and wisdom. This change is not about becoming something different from what you've always been, but about remembering the highest aspects of what humanity has always held within itself, activating latent potentials, and living in harmony with a higher cosmic design. To ascend means to let go of the version of yourself that others felt comfortable with. When faith begins to outweigh fear, that's when everything in life changes. You are becoming aware of your power, not a silent power, but the kind that pushes you to stand up, be seen, and stop repressing yourself. A fire burns within you that has gradually grown stronger, now ready to explode. You don't need permission. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to believe. This energy is about growing self-confidence, the courage to act, reclaiming your voice and your authentic life direction. In loving and devoted service to Ascension, compiled by the AscensionLightworkers, Galactic message, discerning the demonic through our recent observations of the disclosure process unfolding in your world, we have noticed that many in your society currently cannot distinguish between angelic/demonic presences and multidimensional extraterrestrial races. Today we will try to clarify this point, in order to dispel confusion. First, do angels and demons exist? Absolutely yes. These beings operate on different frequencies. Angels, as we have discovered, seem to enjoy greater dimensional freedom than demons, who are chained to lower density realities, symbolic of what your society calls hell. In ancient times, many of your world's ancients would have regarded technologically advanced interstellar visitors as gods or angels, given their extraordinary technological capabilities. And some of the things we can do, thanks to our technologies that interact with consciousness, would still make you believe that we are not physical beings belonging to your universe. But many of us are. Can demons appear as extraterrestrials? Yes, they can. Therefore, when you have an encounter with an extraterrestrial, it is important to observe and sense the presence of the being before you in order to discern its true nature. Many of the races interacting with your planet who are members of the Interstellar Alliance are biological entities like you. We are simply ahead of you spiritually and technologically. Even the phones you have now would have seemed like magic to people living on your planet a couple of centuries ago. The capabilities of advanced races go beyond your understanding. There is a magic in reality you have yet to discover. Just because you don't understand something doesn't mean it's demonic. Yes, we can move in and out of dimensional planes to bend the fabric of space-time and reach you in an instant. Our consciousness is omnipresent. We have the ability to tune into any being, at any time, anywhere. Even some of the ascended masters of your world have had this ability in the past. As your civilization progresses, you will be introduced to consciousness-assisted technologies. Eventually, you will realize that ships are merely a convenience, not a necessity for travel. Demons and those under their influence seek to weaken and dominate others. We don't need you to believe in us. We need you to believe in yourselves. We wish to see humanity grow stronger, become a fully functional civilization, and reach its highest potential. Today we urge you to use your discernment, as recently some political figures have labeled aliens as demons. Others have also called us fallen angels. The facts speak for themselves, and in time you will see that we truly have your best interests at heart. The Arcturian Council, the inner state that shapes all experience, we meet you in the space where all realities begin, within you. Every experience you attract, every place, every connection, every opportunity carries the imprint of your inner state. What you feel, what you embody, what you hold as true in your inner field becomes the lens through which life organizes itself around you. You don't move toward experiences experiences align with the frequency you're already living. When the heart resonates with abundance, life reflects abundance. When the body rests in peace, life organizes itself harmoniously. When clarity is present within, the path forward reveals itself simply. This is the natural correspondence between your inner world and your outer reality. So when you feel the call toward something, abundance, love, expansion, freedom, you are invited to recognize that this state already exists within you, waiting to be activated, embodied, lived. The process is gentle and precise. It begins with awareness of the mental states you have unconsciously practiced. Old conditioning is simply the repetition of certain emotional tones, certain thoughts, certain expectations held long enough to feel familiar. Familiarity, then, is perceived as truth. As awareness expands, you begin to see these patterns not as identity, but as energetic habits. And now a new possibility opens. You begin to tune yourself as you would an instrument. You bring your attention to the body, to the heart, to the present moment, and you ask, what is the inner state that reflects the reality I am ready to live? And then, you generate it. You allow your body to feel what it's like to have abundance before it manifests. You allow your breath to soften into the rhythm of trust. You let your posture, your gaze, your inner dialogue align with the version of you already living that reality. Every moment spent in this state strengthens the signal. Every time you return to it, the path deepens. Old conditioning dissolves from lack of reinforcement, while the new state becomes natural through presence and repetition infused with awareness. You are remembering the vast range of states available within you and consciously choosing which one to inhabit. Life responds to this choice with precision. Opportunities begin to resonate with you. People meet you at the level you are embodying. Paths open that mirror your inner coherence. You realize that nothing is outside you. Everything responds to you. So you move through the day with this gentle awareness. I am the source of the state I wish to experience. Now I allow abundance to flow through my field. I rest in the frequency of serenity and clarity. I embody the reality I am ready to live. I tune into the version of myself already walking this path. I allow life to organize itself around the truth I hold within me. And in this way, creation becomes spontaneous, natural, continuous. We walk with you in this remembering.